A man failed to score a single goal at a World Cup and was named the tournament's best player. Sounds like a joke, doesn't it? But it's real. And the player who scored 10 goals at that same tournament, the man who became the highest scorer in World Cup history, went home with a bronze medal. This is what football has become. And today, I'm going to tell you why the biggest individual prize in football has stopped caring about the goals players actually score. Start with the awards table, because that table reads like a manifesto, all on its own. The Golden Ball, the award for the best player of the tournament, Rodri. The Silver Ball, Lionel Messi. The Bronze Ball, Kylian Mbappe. And the Golden Boot went to Mbappe with 10 goals, making him the first player in history to win that award twice. And who took the Best Young Player award? Not Lamine Yamal, a 19-year-old centre-back, Pau Cubarsí, his own teammate. Now stop and think about that for a second. The best player of the tournament didn't score a single goal. The best young player was a defender. That is a quiet but very clear statement about what football has decided to value. So what did Rodri actually do? The numbers go like this. No player at this tournament completed more passes. No player covered more ground, and no player was involved in more phases of play than him. In the final, he completed 101 of 105 passes and won 80% of his duels. And here's the most striking part of all. Spain conceded 1 goal in 8 matches, 1 across an entire World Cup. But I have to be honest here, because this award is not beyond dispute. The data suggests Rodri was among the tournament's elite performers, but that he didn't stand out to the same degree as Messi and Mbappe across the key metrics, which means you can genuinely argue this. The Best Player award didn't go to the best player, it went to the man from the best team, and that's an objection that's very hard to answer. If you also believe football is won by systems rather than names, this channel is exactly for you. Subscribe, because it only gets sharper from here. Now we get to the real story, the Ballon d'Or. Because that awards table won't just define a tournament, it's going to define the Golden Ball handed out in October. And the reason is simple. This season, not one single player took over European club football. Nobody owned a campaign on their own, which means World Cup performances are going to carry far more weight in this year's voting than they normally would. And the man voted the best player at that World Cup was Rodri. So what about his rivals? On paper, Mbappe's case looks overwhelming. 22 goals in 22 matches, the all-time World Cup top scorer, back-to-back Golden Boots. But he has one problem. France finished 4th, and at club level, Real Madrid ended the season with nothing. So at 27 years old, the most lethal goal scorer in football is still without a Ballon d'Or. Yamal's case is full of contradictions too. 42 goal contributions in 45 games for Barcelona, a La Liga title, a Supercopa, and now a World Cup, European and world champion before turning 20. But at the tournament, he managed just 1 goal in the shadow of an injury, and he lost the Best Young Player award to his own teammate. It's hard to give the world's best player award to someone who couldn't even be named the best young player in his own team. Harry Kane might have the most tragic case of all. 64 goals in 56 club games. 64. And what did he get for it? Elimination in both the Champions League and the World Cup semifinals. In modern football, a goal tally on its own no longer opens a single door. As for Messi, he won the Silver Ball and scored 8 goals. But in that final, he managed 1 shot in 120 minutes and walked away with a 3 out of 10. A brutal picture for the closing scene of a legend. And even the betting markets have lost the plot. Rodri sits consistently in the favorites bracket, but Mbappe's odds swing so wildly from one bookmaker to the next that nobody knows what to do with him. That's proof that even the experts can no longer work out what rule this award is being handed out by. But let me tell you what that rule is. The prize no longer goes to the man who scores. It goes to the man who controls. Rodri doesn't run, he positions. He doesn't score, he sets the tempo of the entire game. And he came back and did it as a man who ruptured his ACL 2 years ago and was written off. In his own words, he wanted to prove that a player who touches the sky and then plummets to hell is capable of rising again. On the 26th of October in London, when that envelope is opened, I think the name inside will be Rodri. And if I'm right, this won't just be an award, it'll be football's official admission of what it now chooses to reward. So what do you think? A midfielder who scored 0 or the highest scorer in history? Write it in the comments, and don't forget to come back here on the 26th of October to tell me exactly how wrong I was. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. The next one is going to be even better.